Hi guys, this is Vitaly with AFT Dispatch and A2C Logistics, and in today's video, I'd like to speak with you about California's push for port electrification and who ultimately pays the price. But first, roll the intro. Welcome back. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single release of our videos, where every Friday we're talking about something that could benefit you in your trucking businesses, in your trucking careers, as well as cover the loads we've successfully booked for our customers, consisting of leased on owner operators and carriers operating under their own MC authorities, running under our truck dispatch services. As always, guys, big thank you for all the likes you provided in all the previous videos. Please do keep them coming, and let's talk about who pays the price for California's mandates for electrification of the port system, the Port of Long Beach, Port of Los Angeles. The ports have invested $25 million. They're investing $25 million in EV charging and in trucks, in the charging stations and different types, not just electrification, but also with hydrogen-based systems. And the CTF, which is the Clean Truck Fund, a fund that was set aside to basically save up money to make this happen so it doesn't come out directly out of taxpayer pockets, basically, has already collected over $150 million since 2022. Now, the way that they did it was by basically charging a small fee for those of us who pull, for those companies whose freight it is that is pulled by diesel-powered semi-trucks. So there you go. They pull a little here, a little there, a little here, a little there. $150 million worth since 2022 has been collected. $25 million of that is going towards this project, and they're going into zero-emission trucks, and they're doing that by creating vouchers which cover up to 90% of the cost of these trucks, which are extraordinarily expensive. When we're talking expensive, we're talking the EV trucks, the electric trucks cost about $420,000. And if we're talking hydrogen, those are upwards of $750,000 per single truck. So it's not like a fleet of trucks or anything like that. So, the question will be, how long would it take to cover that cost? To pay off that cost before these trucks, become meaningless or useless and they completely break down or they need major maintenance. And besides the fact that, does anyone even know how to maintain these things? Do they need maintenance with less moving parts, without an internal combustion motor, engine inside? So ultimately, there's a lot of questions, and a lot of these will be answered over the next few years. But ultimately, we're talking $420K for electric trucks, $750K for hydrogen electric trucks, and it's most of it's covered. 90% of it's covered using these vouchers. The rest of it's being covered by the companies that decide to actually go into these trucks. And there has been quite a bit of federal pushback on California's zero-emission mandates and these funds. So, because one of the problems is that the electrification requires a ton of electricity. Now, you guys have seen, many of you guys at least have seen some of the congressional hearings where some really interesting, really heated debates went up a year, 2 years ago, where they really brought up some questions like, hey, listen, we can't even cover the amount of electricity for one small city or one small town, the amount that it would take to fund, to just, have a handful of trucks running or charging at any given time. And I'm not going to get into details there. You guys can dig those up, some really fun videos that are all over YouTube. But ultimately, ports need anywhere from 6 to 12 times more power for electrification. And it's already been proven that they just can't do it. But they keep pushing for this thing. So ultimately, $411 million in EPA grants has gone for the Port of Los Angeles. About $34.9 million of federal grants for the Port of Long Beach. And the CTF, the Clean Fund, as mentioned, is funded by cargo fees, so not taxes. And so they're really adamant about saying that, hey, this isn't going to cost Californians any extra money. It's not going to cost anybody extra money. And this is going to, reduce pollution and improve everything. They're going to be the leaders of electrification and running electric equipment and hydrogen and electric equipment for drayage in the ports. And remember, the California San Pedro Bay ports are the busiest and the biggest ones in the United States. So in terms of the majority of the freight coming in from overseas. So that would be a big deal. And saying that it's not coming out of California taxpayer dollars is also a big deal. But let's be honest, the indirect costs are very likely to affect consumer pricing indirectly, and small firms as well. So maybe the big trucking companies can handle such costs. Maybe they can get into these big contracts, but small mom and pop shops cannot. And California consumers are already having a hard time, paying for rent, paying for cars, living expenses. Just the cost of living in California is through the roof, just about anywhere in California. And then of course you have, all the drug problems in California, all the homelessness problems, and there's just so much stuff that you guys have all heard in California that a lot of this money could be directed to, or a lot of other money could be directed to solve some of these pressing matters. So I guess I got a question for you. Was this smart of California to direct the money in this way, especially with the latest, information talking about, how the Arctic is growing ice sheets for the first time, and so that kind of defeats a lot of the rhetoric that's going out there over the past several years, over the last several decades, and especially recently about we need to do this, we need to make changes, et cetera, et cetera. And so a lot of that is pushing the type of technological advancements, if you will, that are being pushed right now. But ultimately, if it's not really a problem, and I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but if it's not really a problem, is California being smart with all the current problems that are out there in the state, with a huge deficit, the biggest in the entire nation? And the California's deficit is actually bigger than many countries' GDPs, just to kind of put it into perspective. So again, was this smart of California? So guys, please let us know in a comment section below. If you haven't done so, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. And for now, I'll switch over the camera. We'll look over the loads we booked for our customers, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back. Let's take a look at some of these loads. Guys, this week we have vans and reefers. Everyone did quite well, especially considering last week. A lot of folks are coming back strong with over $1,000 a day. A lot of guys made a ton of money in just 6 days on the road. And we'll go ahead and get started with Tarik pulling a dry van. He's one of our veterans, been around with us for a long, long time, and constantly makes these videos. He's coming out of Andersonville, Georgia, going to Gadsden, Alabama. It's a 44.8 load of bagged minerals on skids, 219 loaded miles, booked at $1,000, got him an easy peasy 457 per loaded mile there. Then Chattanooga, Tennessee, coming out to Auburndale, Florida. It's a load of beverages, 44.5 on the weight, 569 loaded miles, booked that at $1,650. That's $290 a loaded mile, an excellent rate. Then Williston, Florida, coming out to Ephrata, Pennsylvania, 42.5 load of watermelons, 926 loaded miles, booked at $1,800. Got them $1.94 coming out of Florida, and then finished off strong out of Baltimore, Maryland, with a 1-pick-3 dropper coming out to Indiana, Pennsylvania, Union, Maine, and a final in Bangor, Maine. Tough market. 29,000 pound load of tractors, 999 loaded miles, booked at $2,700. Got him an easy $270 a loaded mile. And Tarik definitely knows what he's doing. Next week is going to be a little bit tougher. He's going to have to probably do a little bit of deadhead, but I know the guy's got you taken care of. So did an excellent job, over $1,000 a day, Friday to Friday, gross $7,150 gross, ran 2,713 loaded miles. That got him $264 a loaded mile. Then he also did 292 deadhead miles, which dropped him down to 238. All in all, an excellent job for both the driver as well as the dispatcher. They never cease to surprise me. Did a great job, wonderful gross, very good averages, excellent job. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys got for next week. Moving forward to Enrique, pulling a reefer. I'm very happy to report on this one because Enrique really struggled last week and had to make an appointment, so I had to come back to California and lose a ton of money on that. So we don't like doing that. This week definitely made up a difference, coming out of Delano, California, going all the way to Elkton, Maryland. Lots of miles, one pick, one drop. It's a 40,000 pound load of mandarins and clementines. It's a bagged load. Temperature was set to 40 degrees continuous on that one. It's a long run, 2,746 loaded miles. Got that book, believe it or not, at $6,600. out of California. That's 240 a loaded mile. An excellent job. That was it. He's one of the guys is running for 6 days, Tuesday to Monday, $6,600 in 6 days. That's over $1,000 a day. Once again, running 2,746 loaded miles, zero deadhead, 240 a loaded mile. Excellent job with no additional time spent on pickups, no additional time on deliveries. For just 6 days of work, an excellent job. And I know the guys will take care of you out of Maryland, bring you right back out. And he's a long-time runner, usually spends about a month on the road. And he wants to be back for 4th of July. We'll make sure that happens. Moving on to our next driver, which is going to be Marat, pulling a dry van coming out of East Grand Forks, Minnesota, going to Gardell, Georgia. It's a 44.8 load of barley seed. 1,586 loaded miles, booked at $3,200. Got him just over $2 at $202 a loaded mile. Then Albany, Georgia to Liverpool, New York. It's a load of beer at 45,000 pound on the way. 1,093 loaded miles, booked at $2,350. Got him $215 a loaded mile. Then Liverpool, New York, zero deadhead coming out to Detroit, Maine. It's a 45,000 pound load of animal feed. 509 loaded miles, booked at $1,240, got him $244 a loaded mile. An excellent job. 7 days on the road, Wednesday to Wednesday, $67.90 gross in 7 days. Ran 3,188 loaded miles, lots of respectable miles. Only 38 miles a deadhead, guys. That's a ton of miles and only 38 miles. What is that? That's just about 1%. That's fantastic. So he ended up getting 213 a loaded mile. And with all those miles, and because the deadhead was so low, dropped him down to just 210. Only lost 3 cents on almost 3,200 miles loaded. So an excellent job. Almost $6,800 for the week. An excellent job. Very good week. Great gross. Fantastic average. Marat is doing fantastically well. Moving on to, let's take a look. Milagres and his reefer coming out of Calexico, California and San Luis, Arizona. 2 picks, 1 dropper to Pompano Beach, Florida. It's a 42,000 pound load of asparagus, 34 degrees continuous on a reefer. Long run, 2,553 loaded miles, booked at $6,100. Got him $239 a loaded mile, an excellent rate. Then out of in McCallie, Florida, going to Hendersonville, North Carolina. It's a 1 pick, 1 drop, 42,000 pound load of produce, 52 degrees on the reefer, continuous, 768 loaded miles, booked out at $1,200. Got him $156 on that one. And I know the guys will get him out next week because he called it. Basically the week at 6 days, grossed $7,300 in 6 days. Fantastic money. Excellent job. Ran 3,321 loaded miles before pulling in for his restart. Ended up only 105 deadhead miles, which is very, very low. That's 220 a loaded mile and just 213 with deadhead included. So an excellent job for Milagres, as always, doing very, very well. Moving forward to Tex, let's not forget Tex, pulling his dry van coming to Attleboro, Massachusetts, going to Boone, Iowa. 44.5 load of hazmat chemicals, hazmat and tanker was required. And he's got that new beautiful truck. Well, new to him, beautiful truck nonetheless. Nice trailer, beautiful graphics. I have him on my Facebook, on my personal Facebook, and I always see his posts, and I really like his diving material and all kinds of the stuff that he shares. Hopefully he'll continue doing that because he's making a ton of money. Running 1,330 loaded miles, booked at $2,400. That got him $1.80 on a ton of miles. Then out of looks like Elwyn, Iowa. Hopefully I said it right. All the way to Kent, Washington. That's a 42,000 pound load of batteries. This was a non-hazmat load. 1,792 loaded miles on the way back there. Booked at $4,150 this time around. That got him the difference at $232 a loaded mile. An excellent rate. Friday to Friday. $65.50 in gross in 7 days, ran 3,122 loaded miles, booked at that at $210 per loaded mile, only 146 deadhead miles. That was dropped them down to equal at $2 on the dot. So excellent job, Tex. Keep up with those posts. Congrats on that beautiful truck. I know it's been a little while, but I still like seeing it every time it pops up on my timeline. Moving on to our last guy, which would be Lucas. Lucas is pulling a dry van. Lucas is coming out of Louisville, Alabama, going to Eau Claire, Wisconsin. It's a 44,000 pound load of wood products on pallets. So it's a palletized wood products, 1,145 loaded miles at $2,000. Got him to $1.75 a loaded mile there. Then Chewapa Falls, Wisconsin to Decatur, Illinois, made up a difference of 45,000 pound load of bottled water, 426 loaded miles at $900, got them 211 a loaded mile there. Then right out of Decatur, Zero Deadhead coming out to Westchester, Ohio with some food ingredients, 45,000 pounds on the weight on that one, 288 loaded miles at $800, got them 278 a loaded mile, an excellent rate. Then Covington, Kentucky to Des Moines, Iowa, it's a 41,000 pound load of carbless beverages, which is and either watermelon flavored or or there was also watermelon on there, which I doubt. 587 loaded miles at $13.50. Nonetheless, got them $230 per loaded mile without a doubt. And finished off out of Boone, Iowa, going to Van Buren, Indiana with some popcorn material. 530 loaded miles booked at $1,000. Got them $189 coming out to Indiana, bringing them back Friday to Friday, 7 days on the road, $6,050 in gross. Ran 2,976 loaded miles, only 73 miles a deadhead, guys. Very, very good dispatching. That's 203 a loaded mile and just $198 with deadhead included. So barely reduced that, almost 3,000 miles. So an excellent job to everyone this week. Welcome back and thanks for sticking around. Guys, as you can see, rates have improved since last week, which is no surprise considering last week started from a Tuesday with a 3-day holiday weekend, which tends to screw up the rest of the week. Now, this week is not the case, and so the rates are slowly starting to come back up, and our carriers, our lease and owner operators are able to take advantage of the very best that the market has to offer. Now, if you're struggling in today's market, whether you have vans, reefers, or flatbeds, or step decks, you can certainly have a friend in us by calling or texting for more information at 801-448-6363 or gathering more information on our website at aftdispatch.com. You'll see 2 boxes on the homepage, one for carriers, those of you who have your own MC authority, and for owner operators who are leased on under other people's MCs. We offer both services. Simply fill out the right form. That information will come to us. We'll get in touch with you. Now, it may take a little bit of time to get in touch with you. We are swamped with phone calls, and there's been a lot of interest shown, especially as the markets have declined further and further into the ground. But we are here for you. We are still here trying to help as many of you guys as we can. And again, you get also more information by calling or texting us at 801-448-6363. And until next week, guys, stay healthy, be wealthy. Take care.